everyone, Ainsley here from Small Fry Creations. I've got my two friends here today to help me, Clipper and Griffin, and today I'm going to show you a new take on the traditional Christmas stocking. We're going to make Santa Sleighs. Let's do it!
I started this project off by finding an image of a Santa sleigh I liked. I used 16mm MDF for this project. You could always use plywood, but I had MDF in the shop and it's a cheap alternative. My sleigh is about 420mm in height and 800mm in width. These measurements were just because of the MDF I had. You could always adjust the material and the size for what you're using. Now, I don't know about you, but my freehand drawing skills are that of a 5-year-old, so to get around this, I drew some grid reference lines on the MDF to draw the sleigh. I then roughed it out with a pencil. It was then time to use the jigsaw and cut out the sleigh. I took my time to get the first one right, and then I used the router to repeat the cuts. I sanded the edges and used some files to get into the small spaces. I will call this my master sleigh. I used my master sleigh and traced it onto the MDF, and then I could use the jigsaw to cut it out. With the second one, I cut close to the line but not on the line, as I would use a flush trim bit in my router to flush it up later. I set my flush trim bit in my router and set the depth so that the bearing would run along my master sleigh. With my two sleighs clamped together, I could move the router around the piece and flush everything up. The next step was to make the box to the sleigh. The bottom of the box is 400mm in length and 300mm in width. I cut spaces of scrap that were 40mm so the base of the sleigh would sit off the ground. I set everything into place and clamped everything down. Pocket holes would be a great way to screw everything together, but I didn't have the right screws at the time, so I went with pre-drilling and countersinking the screws from the outside. The front piece of the sleigh is 150mm high, and the back piece of the sleigh is 200mm high. I repeated the process of clamping, pre-drilling and screwing everything together. I puttied up the holes and gave everything a good sand. Now, as always, you can finish your sleigh any way you like. I decided to paint the bottom black with a red body and a white stripe across the top. I also painted the inside of the sleigh white. Once your paint is dry, you can let Santa know his sleigh is ready. Thanks for watching, and if you like this video, be sure to hit those subscribe and like buttons so you don't miss out on my next video. I'll see you next week.